Hello everyone and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Monday, June 13th, and this is the MLB DFS video for today. So in this video, I'll be taking a quick look back at yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about my core picks for the FanDuel main slate, which is a 10-game main slate overall today, and then after that, going over to my article at WeBetETS.com and talking about my top GPP stacks for today. But without further ado, we'll get started with a recap of yesterday's picks. So at the pitcher position, we had Jameson Taillon, $9,500. Got to 27 points yesterday. Did give him a push. It was not a good day for him, but pitching overall was not that great. So he was kind of middle of the pack there. I think 5th or 6th pitcher on the slate, which actually isn't too bad when you consider everything. Then we had Ozzie Albies at second base, $3,200. Got 3 points yesterday. Was a push. Not a guy that really helped us, but not a guy that completely killed us yesterday. Then at shortstop, we had Javier Baez, $2,500, had 0 points yesterday. He was a mess, 0 for 3 on the day. He did have really good history versus Ross Stripling going into yesterday. But I believe the Detroit Tigers only had like 1 hit overall. I could be wrong about that. So not a good day for Detroit all around. And then we had Christian Yelich, $3,200, got to 6.2 points. So he's a push, Obviously, we like that double-digit points out of him, but not a bad play by any means. And then last but not least, we have Marcell Ozuna at $2,900. Got a big fat 0 as he was a mess yesterday, 0 for 4 on the day, but he was hitting 500 off of Jose Quintana going into yesterday. Quintana obviously didn't pitch too far into this game, and Ozuna just didn't quite have that success yesterday. So not the best day by any means. If you had some other decent plays along with these core picks, had a decent chance at cashing still. The main line that I played just missed out on cashing still. So even with a couple of zeros there, had a chance still yesterday. It was kind of a weird day overall though. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to the core picks for today. So we're going to start off at the pitcher position with Aaron Nola. $10,200, averaging just under 37 fantasy points per game on the season. He's starting to pitch really well as of late. He has pretty good history versus the Miami Marlins, which is obviously the team he is facing today. So I definitely have a lot of interest in Aaron Nola today. Obviously, if you want to pay down at pitcher, you could definitely do that as well. Ian Anderson, $8,900. Merrill Kelly, $9,100. If you want to go all the way down, with a little bit of risk, there is Lance Lynn there at $5,500, making his debut for the year. Obviously struggled a little bit in AAA pitching, but at the same time, he's probably just trying to throw pitches and test things out. So maybe not trying to strike guys out, be super effective and stuff like that, kind of like we see in spring training with some players. So definitely could look at him as well, especially if you're going on a full-on White Sox stack, which we will be talking about a little bit more later on. But with that being said, we're going to go over to a teammate of Lance Lynn's and Jose Abreu at $3,100. He's averaging over 9 fantasy points per game on this season. Been hitting the ball reasonably well as of late, about the last 2 weeks or so. And he goes against Ronny Garcia today for the Detroit Tigers, who's not a guy that probably should be starting at any point in time. No offense to him, just not the greatest pitcher in the world, especially from a starter perspective. And then with that being said, Jose Abreu is 2 for 3 with 1 home run versus him in his career, so definitely advantage for Jose Abreu today and does offer some upside as well. Then we go down to another White Sox player, Danny Mendick, $2,400, averaging over 8 fantasy points per game on the season. He's been playing relatively well since Tim Anderson's been on the IL. Mendick's been playing pretty much every day at this point in time. Last 3 games are over 20 points. He has a hit in 7 out of the last 8 games, at least 1 hit that is. And he is 1 for 3 with 1 home run versus Ronny Garcia as well. So there is some good upside there today as well. Then we move down to our outfielders. We got Byron Buxton, $4,300, averaging over 12.5 fantasy points per game on the season. Goes against the Seattle Mariners, and Chris Flexen today is 5 for 5 with 1 home run in his career versus Chris Flexen. So definitely a ton of upside there today. And then last but not least, we have Cole Calhoun of the Texas Rangers, $2,600, averaging just under 8 fantasy points per game on the season. Goes against the Houston Astros and Christian Javier. He is 7 for 10 with 3 home runs versus him in his career, so definitely a ton of upside there. I believe the last time he faced Christian Javier was earlier this year and was in my core picks, and he did hit a home run in that game as well. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, you have $12,400 remaining, $3,100 per player. Looking more like a balanced build type of day, but if you want to pay down for a couple different options and pay up for a couple different options as well, it's definitely something that is viable on today's slate. Or if you want to play down at the pitcher position like I mentioned earlier, you could definitely pay up for a couple other studs as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my article over at WeBetETS.com and talk about my top GPP stacks for today. So the ones that I do have for today, I got the Atlanta Braves going against Josiah Gray. These Braves hitters have pretty good history versus Josiah Gray. I believe the ones that made the list today were Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, Dansby Swanson. You can also look at Travis d'Arnaud. He is 2 for 2 with 1 home run versus Josiah Gray. So there's some upside there with those Braves hitters. Obviously, Gray's kind of a hit or miss pitcher. He's either going to pitch kind of good and strike out a lot of guys, or he's going to give up a lot of runs, sometimes even both. Then we have the Twins hitters going against Chris Flexen today. A lot of these guys have pretty good history versus him, so definitely interested in them, especially Byron Buxton. Obviously, a couple different other guys you could look at from that Twins lineup as well. And then we move over to the Houston Astros, who have terrific history versus Taylor Hearn, who's not one of the better starting pitchers in all of baseball. Probably on the lower end, and it's not even close at this point in time. So if you want to go Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, Jeremy Pena, Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, pretty much any Houston Astros hitter you want today, you can probably do against Taylor Hearn. Probably the one guy I would avoid would be Gurriel, as he's 0 for 11 versus Taylor Hearn in his career. Then last but not least, we have the Chicago White Sox. I already talked quite a bit about them going against Ronny Garcia. Another guy that probably shouldn't be in a starting rotation at this point in time. But Jose Abreu, Danny Mendick are in the core. Luis Robert you could definitely look at as well. Yes, Monty Grandal has decent history versus him. He's banged up. He hasn't played the best this year, though, so probably not looking at him too much, though, today. But with that being said, these are my core picks as well as top GPP stacks for today, June 13th. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's someone from my core picks, whether it's someone from my top GPP stacks, or whether it's a completely different player you guys think I missed. Definitely interested in hearing what you have to say. But with that being said, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, whether it's MLB or USFL. Those are the two main ones at this point in time. Hopefully you guys had some pretty good success in USFL this week. And then once we get back around to the NFL and NBA regular season, I'll be covering those two sports as well. And then with that being said, if you are a newer current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily MLB DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.